Doesn't a kill switch just sound like the best thing a guitar could have? Yes, I'm doing my A to Z of guitar things, and I've chosen kill switch for K. I'm going to look in this video at both a kill switch on a guitar and a kill switch in a pedal, both latching and unlatched. But what does that mean? I can hear you're excited to get on with it, but first of all, don't forget the K here is the first letter of a well-known guitar-related brand. If you want to find out what brand that's from, check out the last video in this series that I'm releasing the day after I've released the Z. That is on the 28th of February 2021, in which I'll be giving you not only what this K stands for, but what all the other letters that I've used in this A to Z alphabet are. Now let's get down to business. So I've just taken out of storage this Proton caster that I made a few years ago. I'm actually going to be doing some work on it and really revamping it, changing quite a lot, because I've made quite a few changes in the way I worked since I first made this. And although I think it looks pretty cool, I think it's going to look even better when it's finished. Anyway, the reason I've got it out is because it has a kill switch on it. So it's just come out of storage, so it's a bit out of tune, but let's give it a strum. And you can see the kill switch mutes the output. Here the string's still sustaining. So here we go. I've got a kill switch in a foot pedal, and actually it's two kill switches. It's by OXDFX, which I don't think exists anymore, but I used to use this on stage a lot, all the time, for different reasons. So the top switch, let's look at that. That's a latching one. When I push it, it switches off the signal. When I push it again, it lets the signal through. So that's what we call a latching kill switch. Whereas the bottom one is momentary, so just when I'm holding it down. So that click you can hear is coming from the pedal, but not going through the signal. So as long as I'm holding it down, it's off. So I used to have a tuner on my board which was always on, but the signal just went through it. So I could see if things were in tune when I was playing. And if I noticed something wasn't, I could just quickly step on that, mute for a second while I tuned up, and then carry on. And then between songs, I could also put my foot on that if I wanted, or if I was walking off or at the end of a set or before a set, I could just switch it off with this. And obviously, you could use the momentary one to play some sort of tune with. Bit awkward standing up like this. So here I've got my test guitar that you would have seen when I was demonstrating the cavity shielding in the video for C in the A to Z. And what I've done is I've added a string to it just with one tuner at the end. It goes into a bridge. You know, it's not the length of a normal string, but sound comes through, and it's plugged in at the moment to my amp. No effects or anything in between. So this is the jack we're going to fiddle with now to make some kill switch options. So let's put this here. Let's put that back like that. I've got this wire free. I'm just going to unplug the jack that goes into the amp. What I'm simply going to do is, with my wires, clippers, is I'm going to take the live lead, the yellow lead, which goes, as you would have seen from my video on jacks, it goes round and links on to the part that touches the tip of the jack. I'm going to just cut it here. And let's just strip that wire briefly. So now what I've got is the jack split. So let's plug the lead to the jack split. Let's plug the jack back in. See, it's making contact with the tip. When I touch it, there's some feedback going to the amp because I'm grounding it. But look, if I play the string, it doesn't play through the amp. If I connect these up, now it does play through the amp. That extra buzz is coming from me touching the wires, but here we go. So here we've got a switch with two legs on it, and let's attach the wires together here. Now, that is very awkward to do on camera, but done. So if we have a look now at the switch, we can either have it on the on position, where the signal is going through, or switch the lever, and now it's off. So that feels like the simple way to do a kill switch. But actually, that's not an ideal way to do it, because you've now got your signal with a split in it. What you really want to do, instead of having a split in it, is have your signal grounding itself. So how do we do that? So I'm temporarily going to reattach the live wire halves together. I'm just going to twist it together, put a little bit of solder on, but it's not going to be permanent because I'm going to do something different wiring with them later. But first of all, I want to show you a simple kill switch option. So let's just solder this back up. So let's go back and use the same switch. And this time I'm going to put 2 new bits of wire coming from the legs. So apologies again for my terrible wiring technique, leaning over the camera. I think I'm going to do some wiring videos at some point. I'll need to get better set up for that. But there we go. And let's just make sure they're not going to touch. I'm just going to trim the end of this one. So there we have a black and a red wire. Now what I'm going to do is attach the end of each of these to the different tabs on the jack. So one of them is already the ground. So let's make that black one match up with the ground. And one of them's the live, which was yellow. I didn't have any yellow wire, so I've used red. So let's make them match here. So hopefully you can see here that the black goes from the tip, sorry, the black goes from the ground, which is the sleeve on the jack, round to one side of the switch, and the red goes from the tip, which is the live of the jack, round to the other leg of the switch. If you don't know what I'm talking about the jack, the sleeve and the tip, go watch my jack video, J under the A to Z. And then let's plug the jack in. If I play the note, it's connected up, because this switch at the moment is not connecting these 2 wires together. But when I flip it the other way, the 2 wires are connected together. And not only is there no sound coming out, but you can hear there's none of that buzz that's there. If I switch it on, there's a natural buzz, the hum that's being picked up because the shielding's not properly in place here. Again, watch my cavity shielding video about that. But because what happens now when I flick this switch is it grounds the jack by making both the tip and the sleeve grounded, it connects them together. There is absolutely no output going out. Whereas before, when we just had the cut in the 2 wires, the cut in the live wire, there was a signal going through still. So this is the way to do a kill switch. So an alternative is to have a switch with 2 positions and 3 legs. So the other one was 2 positions and 1 leg, but this one can go like this or like this. And what happens there is it's going to connect these 2 together or these 2 together. So what I'm going to do is wire the live wire, the hot wire that comes from the tip of the jack socket into the middle here. Then I'm going to wire the live that comes from the volume control, the hot, onto here. Actually, that needs a trim from where I've twisted it. And then we go back and do what we did before. We have a wire that's going from the other side of this switch to the ground on the jack socket. I've really tied myself up with this camera here. So let's just put the jack back in. And in one position, we've got the live that we split at the beginning connected. And in the other position, we've got the earth, the ground, being connected across to the tip, the hot part of the jack again. Just like that switch we had that was just here, but an alternative version of that. So this is really the best kill switch, this one and the last one, where when it's off, it's grounded. And again, you probably want it momentary, not latching like this. but that was all I had handy. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. And if you like that Protoncaster guitar that I had, I'm actually in the process of upgrading it slightly and making it into the Mark II, which will then go up for sale on my website, devilandsons.guitars. And I'm always open to making new things like that for other people. If you want to see how that one was made, check out this video. And there's a video here, a sort of demo of me playing it. Until next time, happy strumming.